My name is Jason Tiedick, and I'm the founder and CEO of RuleTheRoomPublicSpeaking.com and the creator of the Signature Presentation Bootcamp Workshop. Signature Presentation Bootcamp is the definitive program for successfully creating, delivering, and managing your presentations in public speaking. Before I talk about what Signature is, I first want to tell you who it's for. Signature Presentation Bootcamp is for you if you have a big presentation coming up and you don't know how to get started. You already have a presentation, but you want to improve it. You hate bad subject material and presenters that talk down to us, and you want to connect with people in the room. You want to speak across the world and spread your ideas, and you want to have the perfect message for your audience. You tried presenting or public speaking in the past, but for whatever reason, things just didn't work out. Or your presentations are just okay or stuck and in need of a rock star communication makeover. When you have Signature Presentation Bootcamp, you'll not only have a proven plan for creating, delivering, and managing your presentations, you'll also have all of the assets you need to execute your plan, including the circle of knowledge, an exercise that will guarantee you're telling your audience exactly what they want to know. The agree and see if you're right, a never-fail technique to repeatedly engage and re-engage your listeners. The blueprint, a tool to make sure you'll deliver a flawless presentation without relying on the script. The presentation personality style assessment, an analysis to help you know exactly how to entertain your audiences and be genuine, be yourself. And the learning style analysis, along with all the tools and insights you can use to get your message across to every type of learner in the room. And that's just the beginning. I know firsthand how confusing and complicated presentations in public speaking can be. You have to answer questions such as, what exactly does my audience want to know? How will I engage and entertain them? How can I make sure I'll deliver a flawless presentation without relying on a script? What if they aren't listening? And most importantly, how can I be absolutely certain they will take action and do what I want when I'm done? Those are just the obvious questions. If you've presented in the past, you know there are dozens more that will come your way once you get up there on that stage. I should know, as a serial presenter, I've given literally thousands of presentations and talks. Everything from keynote speeches in front of 5,000 people to TED Talks, 5-minute speeches, meetings, webinars, training sessions, sales presentations, pitches and demos. As the founder of RuleTheRoomPublicSpeaking.com, I've also been privileged to consult on even more presentations, including presentation training of hundreds of employees at multi-million-dollar companies. So I know this stuff works. Whether it's just a short presentation in front of a few people or a massively complex keynote presentation in front of hundreds and thousands of people, the blueprint is the same. And that's because the blueprint, which we call Signature Presentation Bootcamp, just flat works. Let's talk about how it works. Signature Presentation Bootcamp is a 10-week online workshop that's divided into 3 parts. In part 1, we'll attract your audience with content they can't resist and keep them there by revealing to them the underlying emotional reasons they want it. Did you catch that? Emotional reasons. You'll create core content that is exactly what your audience wants to hear, put it into a form that makes it easy for you to deliver, and present it in an attractive slideshow. In part 2, you'll create an immediate and powerful impression on your audience by standing in the right place, working the room with your body, and convincing with your words and your voice. You'll learn the techniques that will make you project a calm and a confidence under any circumstances. And in part 3, you'll keep them engaged and laughing, using your genuine personality style and feeling that what you're presenting is specifically for them. You'll show expertise, keep to your timetable, respond well to every question, diffuse any distractions, and end on such a high note that they applaud you and take action. Because we here at Rule the Room believe that learning doesn't happen until a behavior change, i.e. action, takes place. In short, You'll have an amazing presentation, plus all the skills you need to deliver that presentation with confidence and genuine, in your own style, engagement. Most importantly, you'll know how to create and deliver a presentation that can actually change people's behavior. Now, I've spent 25 years of research, and I've observed, trained, and coached over 10,000 speakers, including speakers in the top 100 TED Talks of all time. With Signature Presentation Bootcamp, you'll be able to present with confidence in any situation. So when that curtain calls and they announce your name as the featured speaker, you know you'll be ready. When you present, you know that won't be the end, because the Signature Presentation Bootcamp isn't just a model for giving your next presentation. It's a model for bettering your public speaking for the rest of your career. What if presentations didn't have to be boring or lose people early on? What if you stopped saying it wasn't anything special and you start saying, wow, that was amazing? What if you knew the exact step-by-step process to connect with people and touch their emotions? And what if you didn't have to wonder if your presentation was a success? What if you had absolute confidence that your presentation was a winner before you even stepped foot on the stage? All of this is possible. All you need to do is register for this online workshop. When you get inside the training center, you're going to download the workbooks, watch all the videos, and complete all the modules. And then together, we're going to create and deliver your next presentation. Signature Presentation Bootcamp has helped thousands of presenters and speakers all over the world, many of them without even realizing it. I don't care if you're an experienced speaker or a new speaker. If you have an audience of thousands or just one person, if you speak online or offline, have a presentation already, or you're just starting one, your presentation in public speaking will absolutely benefit from this Signature Presentation Bootcamp workshop. Before you spend a minute on creating your script or invest another ounce of energy preparing or delivering your next presentation, register for this workshop and become a rule of the room presentation mastery speaker. And do it today. Your audience is waiting for you. Well, hello, my name is Jason Tiedick, and I help people deliver amazing presentations. And today I'm going to show you how to command confidence and credibility under any circumstances when you give your presentations. Now, before I start, I'd like to know what you think. I was actually at a conference the other day, and it was about 300 people in this session. And it was a pretty good session. In fact, the people in the back, I was sitting in the back myself, and when it finished, 3 or 4 people started walking out, and I was walking out with them, and they looked at each other, and one of them said, "That was amazing. That presentation was unbelievable." I want you to take a moment, and I want you, with 3 people around you, to write down in your books. You have a place to write this. I'll give you a page number as well. It's on page 9. I want you to take a look at page 9, and I want you to just take 5 minutes and write down, what do you think made that presentation so amazing? And I want you to zero in on 2 things. Amazing presenters do lots of things, but the thing we're going to focus on today is that they have this confidence that they show, even if they're not confident inside, and they have this credibility that just makes you want to keep listening to them. Why? There's a lot of experts in this room. Let's tap that expertise right now and find out. I want you to do the following. One person who doesn't like to talk much, you can be the writer or the timekeeper. Someone else, the facilitator, you run the ship. We also need a relayer to tell us what you came up with. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to come up with at least 5 and hopefully 10 things as a group that you think makes an amazing, not just okay, amazing, confident, incredible presentation. 5 minutes. You're about to get some free market research from your peers. You're about to find out what your peers think make you awesome. So let's hear it. Relayers, shout it out. What do you got?
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. Make a note. You cannot fake enthusiasm. Can't fake sincerity, and you can't fake a smile. So if you're going to be enthusiastic, you can't hope that you're going to be. You actually have to be. Today I'm going to teach you how to do that. Yes? Eye contact. If you have less than 30 people in the room, which we do, you want to make eye contact with everyone in the room once a minute. Oh, this changes everything for some of you. If you have more than 30 people in the room, say 300, you want to make eye contact with every section of the room, and there are 9 of them in an amphitheater, Coliseum. You want to look at each section for 3 seconds once a minute.
Is that one person within each section?
You could just look at the one person, because when it's that big, they can't tell where you are anymore, so that's fine. Others?
Tone and inflection in your voice.
Tone and inflection of your voice. I'm going to write down voice, and then we're going to write down 3 things. There are 3 things that you can change your voice with. There's your volume, your pace, and your inflections. Notice she said tone and inflections of your voice. Tone I'm going to call the same thing as voice, but there's 3 parts to this voice. Volume, pace, and inflections. The most effective speaking pace is between 150 and 180 words a minute. Right now I'm speaking around 168. I have recorded myself so many times and transcribed those recordings, I can tell you I'm around 168. Tony Robbins, one of the best speakers in the world, usually averages around 204. When I really want to engage, I might pop it up that much, especially in the afternoon. But when you slow down your voice, what starts to happen? Sounds like it's really important, doesn't it? Today you're going to learn from me how to change each one of those things for maximum effect. Albert Morabian suggests that 55% of communication comes from your body language and facial expressions, 38% from your tone of voice, and 7% from the words you say. While most communication experts would agree that his research is not that reliable because he's back in the 50s and 60s and he didn't have as many subjects as you would want to make it reliable, what they would all agree on is that it's not just what you say. Even the old wives' tale says this, it's what? How you say it. And the most effective leaders that I have ever met all would agree with this too. If you really want to make an impression on your customers, go talk to them. If you want to make a second as good of impression, call them up on the phone, and the last thing you want to do is send them an email, because those can get misinterpreted. Why? Because according to Morabian, 93% isn't even the words at all. What else you got?
Capturing the audience's attention and keeping the audience interested by using humor or
So, good. She gave a lot of information there. First, she said is engage and captivate them, capture them. She said you can do this with humor, and she said real life examples. Now, I want you to know something. There are 4 different kinds of presenters in this world. There are fascinators. My brother is one of those. He's in the back of the room videotaping this. There are inspirers like me. There are performers like Tony Robbins. And there's energizers like Sir Ken Robinson, the #1 TED speaker on the internet right now. You need to figure out which one you are. And today I'm going to teach you which one you are. I'm going to suggest that stillness is one of your most powerful methods to use the room. One person came up to me after a presentation and said, Jason, I noticed that you really meant business when you used your hands because you didn't use them very often. But when you did, I realized it was really powerful. You ever seen those presenters that do this all the time and they're just constantly doing this, and pretty soon you just start to say, oh yeah, nothing he says really is making a point because he's always doing this. He's always making his point. It doesn't mean anything anymore. It's like crying wolf. But if my hands are to my side by default, then when I use my hand, it becomes powerful. Just like if my volume is monotone by default, then when I bring it down a little bit, it becomes powerful. I'm going to teach you all this today. By the way, I have a question for you. Have you ever been in front of an audience at a meeting, a training, presentation, and you ask them a question and you get this awkward silence? And yet, I couldn't write fast enough. And it had nothing to do with me. You can do what I just did too, where you won't be able to write fast enough. But why did that happen? Does anybody know? Yeah.
Oh, we had time to collaborate.
You had time to collaborate. What else? It's not just the time. That's important, but it's not just that. If you just do that, it won't work. Mm-hmm. I gave you an assignment. Yep, I had this. What else? That's also important, but it still won't work if you just do that. Yep.
Well, I'm assuming that people here are invested in the topic, and there are times when people will attend things and they aren't necessarily invested.
Oh, did you hear what she said? She said, I'm assuming people here are invested in a topic. What was the question I asked you? It's sitting up there. What's the question I asked you? What makes a confident and credible presentation? Before coming here, I researched with the leaders of this group. What's important to this group? That's what they told me. And I could have just said to you, well, I'm da-da-da-da, and I'm going to just tell you right now what makes a confident and credible presentation because I'm just this and I'm that. But it's not about me. It's about who? You. So here's what you do. Instead of just starting your presentation presenting, you ask a question and get them to write about it, then ask them to tell you what they think. Here's what Carl Jung would say. Carl Jung would say that the things you told me aren't just what make a confident and credible presentation. They're also what you secretly want to know more about. Ooh. This is a recipe for you to tailor your approach to any audience that you have.